Hey my creative friends, I hope you enjoy today's video. I'm just dragging you along here for some projects that I've been up to over the last few weeks. And you can see here, I am actually in my kitchen. I'm starting to build the frame to our egg holder. This side panel of the fridge was calling for something, and I've been loving the plate racks I've been seeing lately and have no walls for it. So I decided I don't need a plate rack, but I really need a place for my eggs. And so I built this frame and I stick it there, and I'm perplexed. Busted out the tape measure. I made a few wrong cuts. You can see here I didn't compensate for the two side panels, and so I did the center pieces all the overall length, and it was too big. My son's sticking his finger in the gap, mocking me, and I'm over here throwing a little fit and pouting because I was bummed. I just wanted to do it right the first time. That was really fast. Destruction. So here I am starting over on those center boards. I'm needing to shorten everything down. To get a straight cut, it's good to take a square. If you have small lumber, you can just hold that square tight to your material and you have a nice straight edge. So to figure out how many eggs I can get per slat, I just traced out the hole saw to get an idea. So here's attempt 2 of getting this frame up and mounted. And success, I finally made it the right size and it fits perfectly to this side panel. So I'm going to go ahead here and find the center of the depth of the board and the center of the width of the board, draw myself a line, and I made a little cheat sheet. Since I figured out how many eggs I was putting on and how far apart they were, I found the center on that piece of paper as well where I had those ticks, and was able to, no matter what the length of the board, set that paper on it once I found centers and get everything marked for holes. And listen, this thing holds 5 to 6 dozen eggs. I drilled like 60 plus holes. It was a lot of holes. Sometimes that saw just catches and it'll give your arm a good twist, so hold it tight. But here, I went ahead and just wanted to see how I liked the fit of the eggs. I've grabbed the smallest blue Easter egg or egg to the biggest egg on the right, and I didn't like how deep it was sitting in that hole. That blue little torpedo egg was actually like protruding out of the bottom a little bit. The egg holder is at a standstill. I went ahead and finished drilling out this first row, but I don't like how big the holes are. So I'm gonna go get 1.25 inches. So I'm not sure if you agree with me, but I love this first row of eggs and how nice and even they rest in the 1.25 inch hole, and the back row is the 1.5 inch. It just holds them differently. They are nice and high in the hole and they look more even. And this back one, I mean, you can kind of see the eggs through the bottom. And I have some mid to large size eggs, so I decided to go with 1.25 inch, but I think I'm really liking my choice. This currently holds 5 dozen eggs, and I think that would be good, especially with what we're getting now. Having 24 chickens, I could easily get 1 dozen to 2 dozen eggs a day. So, I mean, this isn't gonna sustain every egg I get, but I'm spacing them at 4 inches apart. So even this area down the road, it's exactly spaced so I can put 2 more ledges in there even, and kind of cut out some of the decor and make it strictly for eggs. So here I'm taking a 1/4 inch drill bit, and I measured about 1 inch above each slat to go ahead and put in a dowel to help hold those eggs in better. So I was able to just kind of eyeball stick the end of the dowel in one side and leave an extra about 1/4 inch and make that cut with my miter shears and go ahead and kind of bend it enough to insert it. And it's just nice to have those because I feel like since the eggs do sit higher, this makes sure that with the rattling of opening and closing that door, or you could say slamming that door at times, it won't fall out. We won't have eggs on the ground. So I got this nailed and caulked in. So So in choosing and hanging some decor for this shelf, I wanted to add this little My Kitchen prayer. It's something I got from a thrift store when I moved here to Oklahoma, and I've loved it ever since I got it. I neutralized it with some paint and made it a little modern, but it says, "Bless my pretty kitchen, Lord, and light it with thy love. Help me plan and cook my meals from thy heavenly home above. Bless our meals with thy presence and warm them with thy grace. Watch over me as I do my work, washing pots and pans and plates. The service I am trying to do is to make my family content. So bless my eager efforts, Lord, and make them heaven sent." How beautiful is that egg? There's such a contentment in my heart when I come and I see what these birds produce for our family and I can come put them on display. I absolutely love it. So that is project number 1. Let's move on to 2. Here we are at Lowe's yet again. We are wainscoting a bathroom. And yes, I even had the panels cut down. I'm just putting a 4-foot panel on top of base. Still didn't fit my car. But here is the bathroom before I put my hands on it. Very clean and simple. The homeowner really wanted the mirror framed out, and I just had the wild idea that this bathroom needed wainscoting. Lighten and brighten it up and just add a little bit of extra character. And I decided to change up this cabinet just a little bit. Very simple touches and changes. I'm going ahead and getting the bathroom cleaned out, putting all of the decor items up in the cabinets, and then I'm going to go ahead and start demoing this tile. This tile was going to be in the way of the wainscoting and it hitting the granite nicely. So I'm just taking this box here and I'm using that to just hold the debris and knocking this tile off the wall, and realized, sadly, that the mirror was being held by this one tile. That clip completely let loose once I released that tile from the wall. I was perplexed. I'm like, what's happening? So I was like checking all of the clips, and it just came down to, oh snap, that mirror had a chip on the corner, was gonna have to cover it up. So here is some decision making I had to make. They had rounded corners. This was the only exterior corner. Most were interior corners. I wanted to not put this corner bead on top of the wainscoting, so I had a nice rip cut here to get that looking nice and flush with tight caulk lines. And here we are with just the few panels up. We went ahead and had to rip some edging around trim to surround the mirror, and in case that, I wanted to go ahead and set the mirror here directly to the granite because it is a nice pine wood and we could seal that up and there won't be any water intrusion or swelling. And we're going to go ahead and get the wainscoting to meet right up to that mirror. So you can see here, all the panels I've installed are very uneven, but no worries. I just ripped the back of the horizontal board, just kind of like how you would encase a mirror, to give me a little wiggle room to cover up that unevenness. Well, I went ahead after I got all of the wainscoting installed and matched their trim in their home. This is the home I've showed previously with the 3 rooms I decorated. So I've already kind of started touching up baseboards and such. This discoloration is what happens when caulking isn't repainted. It's just something that, look, fresh coat of paint looks lovely. And here it is. I'm so glad that I ripped down all that horizontal board to go ahead and cover up that uneven edge. It made caulking so much easier. I do finish all my holes with joint compound so the holes don't recess. The finished product looks great. I simply took the doors off this cabinet to go ahead and showcase a little bit of decor. Here I bought nothing new. This is all of the same items, just displayed a little bit differently since they don't need as much enclosed storage. I do have intentions of adding a few pegs here, kind of like a peg rail under this photo. Lowe's did not have the 2-inch pegs. They only had 3 or 3.5, and I didn't want your arm to catch that going to the toilet area. And I'm going to add one to the right here for a towel. This job took me about 3 days and was so worth it. On to project 3. I'm making that trip to Lowe's. Our friends are trying to just make over their old farmhouse. This was an old photo with old carpet in their high traffic area she really wanted rid of. Our husband's installed new luxury vinyl flooring. Now we're working on doors and trim. I bought a lot of lumber to build barn doors and trim for box molding and baseboards. They just have flat paneled doors. She did get to painting the walls agreeable gray and got a nice white coat of paint on the doors, and I'm just adding box molding here. I loved using miter shears. It was so easy, and I got those caulked in and she painted. Have to share this cute gallery wall she created. She got the inspiration off Pinterest, and let's give a little credit to little Victorian cow here. How cute is it? So we got barn doors built. This is the bifold door that she's demonstrating here. It is such a unique deal, and we just built the 2 panels, hinged them, and then that track comes with all the things to make it a bifold. I love it. I'd say everything's painted at this point, and here's to building the giant barn door. That gave us a little bit of trouble because all these boards were cupped, but with a little persuasion, it came together nicely. They'll be staining these doors later. Don't mind the child. The addition of box molding, hardware, fresh paint made all the difference for this hallway. And she went ahead and made over her bathroom. I found this mirror at the discount store for her, super affordable, and she added all this other cute decor. Let's take a glance at the before. Some things were reutilized, but like the chain lights, they could have gone Western, but the Victorian globes didn't work, so she got new lighting. With the new agreeable gray paint and the art and decor, it totally updated this bath. They wanted to keep the existing blue fixtures, and with the addition of this Pendleton towel, it just tied those colors in, and it just made everything look so charming. Us country folk can be so bougie. I love this little Western bath. Here's the before, and here's the after. Thanks for joining me in all the shenanigans I've been up to lately. I look forward to sharing my next video with you. I have a pantry makeover headed your way. You be blessed, and I'll see you soon.